Hailey Van Lith's basketball journey took a dramatic turn last night as she was officially drafted by the Chicago Sky, reigniting a dream she once thought was over. But this exciting moment comes with a twist. Hailey now finds herself in a situation eerily similar to the one that once impacted both her and Angel Reese's academic performance back at LSU.
Hailey Van Lith, there is no escaping from hell. She just literally got pulled back into the fray. Oh, God bless.
Reese's back-to-back standout performances were reportedly the centerpiece of the Chicago Sky's previous season, but they didn't come without controversy. Some teammates felt pushed aside, creating tension within the locker room. Now, with morbid curiosity, the basketball community watches as Hailey Van Lith enters this high-pressure environment, a place where every move matters and livelihoods are on the line. So the real question is, how do we get here?
So last night was the WNBA draft, and my goodness, the young lady out of TCU has been reunited with Angel Reese. Now, you may be like, well, what's the deal there? Because she already got the hell away from her once.
When the commissioner announced Hailey Van Lith as the 11th pick in the WNBA draft, her reaction spoke volumes. It wasn't joy. It was a quiet emotional storm, hinting that something wasn't right. This didn't look like the moment she had dreamed of for years. Instead, it felt like a nightmare unfolding live, right in front of millions.
To the video, her facial expressions were like, the F just happened to me. What are we doing? I mean,
the difference was striking. While other draft picks soaked in their movie moment glory, confetti falling, smiles shining, Hailey's moment was much quieter. Her parents hugged her and wept tears of joy, but Van Lith's body language told another story. Her eyes never reached that tight, practiced smile. Her posture was stiff, and the way she grimaced when Chicago was mentioned felt less like a celebration and more like someone trying to hold it together at a funeral.
You look at this face. Look at this face. God bless her. I mean, the pain and anguish. That's not, I'm about to lose it and I'm happy to be drafted and all. No.
Hen reporters asked Hailey Van Lith if she had seen Angel Reese again. The tension spiked. Her response, the now viral line, "Crazy, I adore that energy," came with an awkward laugh, vague words, and a quick exit that made it clear this was a conversation she didn't want to be in. Reese, ever energetic, chimed in with, "You might walk into a nice vibe in Chicago, right? That energy is amazing. We're ready. Okay, thank you. Oh, I just love that energy." But Van Lith's body told another story. Stiff posture, a forced smile, and eyes that never matched her words. She looked more like someone enduring a performance than enjoying a professional milestone. Social media exploded within minutes. Phrases like, "HVL looks sick," and "she needs to be traded ASAP" flooded comment sections. Fans quickly dissected her reactions frame by frame, posting clips to Instagram and Twitter, drawing one unanimous conclusion: Hailey Van Lith didn't want to be in Chicago. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky social media team pushed a cheerful reunion narrative celebrating the LSU connection, but fans weren't buying it. Every post was bombarded with laughing emojis, crying faces, and predictions of drama. One comment captured the mood perfectly: "This is going to be a disaster, and we're all watching."
With Angel Reese, there's some good energy you can walk into in Chicago, right?
Oh, I love that energy. We're ready.
All right, thank you so much.
Oh, I love that energy. You know, she had a chance to drop. Great. Angel and I are familiar with each other from LSU. This is going to be awesome. Just eat.
Reluctant draft picks aren't new in basketball, but Hailey Van Lith's reaction went beyond the usual signs of disappointment. Her expression wasn't just dismay. It was the look of someone who had tried, intentionally and carefully, to escape a situation only to be dragged right back into it. In an effort to reset her career, Van Lith left LSU, a move many saw as a way to distance herself from Angel Reese and the chaos that surrounded their time together. But in a twist that feels almost scripted, the WNBA draft handed her the exact reality she was trying to avoid. Ending a chapter, starting fresh in a new city, only to discover that the same person from your past just got hired at your new job.
Hailey Van Lith, smiling through the pain of returning to toxic hell. There's your boy right there.
Van Lith and Reese's on-court partnership unfolded under circumstances so unlikely, they almost felt fictional. The chemistry was real, but the chaos surrounding it was even more intense. For Van Lith, everything she had worked tirelessly to build, her reputation, her rhythm, her rise, teetered on the edge of collapse, threatened by a dramatic statistical freefall that no one saw coming.
Jason, I think if I'm reading in between the lines, these two did not enjoy playing with each other the first time.
Before Hailey Van Lith partnered with Angel Reese, she was an exceptional player at Louisville, consistently leading as the primary scorer with around 20 points per game, despite being the focal point of every defensive strategy. But after transferring to LSU, things took a drastic turn. Her scoring plummeted to just 11.6 points per game as she adapted to a new system controlled by Reese, where her offensive role was subdued. However, after transferring to TCU, Van Lith's performance skyrocketed back to nearly 18 points per game, revealing a clear pattern. Without Reese, she could play more freely and efficiently, returning to her natural form. While LSU had some success during her time there, they never won a championship, and Van Lith's experience with Reese, someone known for her self-importance, left its mark. Commentators noticed Van Lith's shifting role as she went from being the go-to option to merely a sideline spectator in what many called the Angel Reese showcase, while Reese took over with her aggressive rebounding and scoring, leaving Van Lith to watch from the corner.
Her stats. Let me roll down here to the teams. Louisiana State, 11.6 points a game. She leaves and goes straight to TCU. Averages almost 18. The year before at Louisville, almost 20 a game. What does that tell you about her hell that she's got?
The visual narrative unfolds by contrasting game footage from her time at Louisville and LSU. At Louisville, Van Lith commanded the court, breaking through defenses and asserting her dominance with every possession. But at LSU, the story was different. While Angel Reese controlled the ball, Van Lith often found herself stagnant, waiting for opportunities that rarely came her way.
Some success. I don't think they won the title that year that Hailey was on the team, but I think she's already experienced what's it like to play with Angel Reese, who is a narcissist and
The psychological toll on Van Lith is clear when you look at the numbers. The sudden shift from being the primary option to a secondary thought was jarring. She was even told to leave space in place designed specifically for her, a move that redefined her role. But these statistics don't just highlight the numbers, they reveal how an athlete's identity and purpose can be systematically eroded. The pattern is undeniable. Playing alongside Angel Reese, Van Lith went from being a star to struggling to find her rhythm. However, after distancing herself from Reese, Van Lith's numbers began to recover. The statistics aren't just conjecture, they're a clear reflection of the emotional and psychological toll, backed by 3 years of collegiate data. The basketball equivalent of an eclipse is visible in these figures. As Reese steps into the spotlight, Van Lith's light dims.
Hailey had her worst season playing with Reese, and it wasn't even close. I just showed you the numbers. It was bad.
The numbers only tell part of a story. What's even more troubling lies behind those dwindling stats. The draft night showed a ghostly Van Lith, a reflection of her internal struggle, one that's hard to ignore. It makes perfect sense now why she would be so shaken to see Angel Reese again, especially after the drama that unfolded in the Chicago Sky locker room the season before. The emotional scars from that experience run deeper than any statistic can capture.
It's my understanding that every one of those teammates at LSU hated playing.
Team insiders reveal that Angel Reese was prioritized over the team's overall performance during the previous season with the Chicago Sky. The coaching staff, particularly Teresa Weatherspoon, reportedly turned the team into what one player privately called a rebounding machine, designed solely to fuel Reese's double-double streak. Individual stats, especially Reese's, took precedence over fundamental basketball principles. As one source described it, Angel needs to make 7, 8, or 10 shots just to score a few extra points. And by the end of every game, the team would stop everything just to hand her the ball and ensure her streak continued. According to insiders, players were reduced to mere background players in Reese's highlight reel, like extras on a movie set who aren't allowed to speak because the star steals the spotlight. Anyone who didn't prioritize feeding the ball to Reese was swiftly punished. If you didn't play by Angel's rules, you didn't play at all, one insider claimed, suggesting that a player's bench time was directly tied to how well they catered to Reese's statistical goals.
Gotta watch Hailey Van Lith stand at the three-point line wide open while that girl is chasing the new rebounds record. That's exactly what's about to happen.
The locker room was consumed by a toxic atmosphere. While some players silently fumed over the injustice, others begrudgingly adapted to the situation. The unease on the court was undeniable. Hasty plays, hesitant decisions, and palpable tension in the team's dynamics. Angel Reese, as described by her teammates, was seen as arrogant and a nightmare to share the court with. Several players visibly struggled to coexist with her, their discomfort stemming from serious character issues that went beyond just basketball performance.
Hey, Angel needs to score 4 more points, and it'll take her about 7 to 8 to 10 shots to get there. And so they would shut down everything they do and feed the ball to Angel Reese at the end of the game so she could keep her double-double streak alive.
Reese's reaction on social media when she learned that Van Lith would be joining Chicago only reaffirmed her stance. "The first time we do it wrong. Let's run it back," she said. A statement that many interpreted not as a simple acknowledgement of past issues, but as a warning. Despite their turbulent history at LSU, there was no recognition of personal growth or change. It seemed like Reese viewed Van Lith's move to Chicago as yet another opportunity to control the narrative. "Let's run it back with a bunch of Ks," Reese added, signaling that the dynamic would remain the same. Fans of the Chicago Sky were already bracing for history to repeat itself. According to multiple comments, the team would continue prioritizing Reese's rebounding stats over Van Lith's. The second act of this destructive cycle is just getting started, one supporter warned, highlighting the inevitable clash ahead.
I think Hailey would be reluctant to re-engage with a narcissist.
The intense public scrutiny surrounding their reunion only makes matters worse. Reese's bold social media remark and Van Lith's public written response have ensured that every interaction between them will be analyzed for signs of tension. Difficult relationships, especially those with a complicated history, rarely improve under such intense scrutiny. Instead, the pressure only magnifies the underlying issues, making any reconciliation even more unlikely.
Shortly after Van Lith heard her name, Angel Reese took to social media to express her excitement.
Let's be honest, Hailey Van Lith's future as a professional basketball player is uncertain. In Chicago, she's facing a dilemma that could potentially end her WNBA career before it even starts. The analysis shows that playing alongside Angel Reese could seriously hinder Van Lith's performance and professional growth. She may not be able to score as much in Chicago as she did at LSU, and this situation could jeopardize her entire career.
Quote, "Let's run it back," with a bunch of Ks.
The stakes are incredibly high, and every move she makes will be crucial. Van Lith's future is looking increasingly uncertain. She's up against formidable challenges that could ultimately define her career. In this critical period, her star potential hangs in the balance, and the decisions she makes now will have a lasting impact on her professional trajectory.